December 7th here in Southern Ontario, Canada. So I want to do a little, probably more than a couple of videos, because, let me find my notes here, a lot of people are going to have to renew their mortgages over the next 2 years, if they haven't already. And there's an ugly trap here. What prompted me to think about this was the big Canadian banks just released their annual profits, and profitable they are. But let's go back to 2000 and 2001. Really low rates. It was pushed by the Bank of Canada, quoting Tiff, the governor of the Bank of Canada. You can be sure interest rates will stay low for a long, long time, unquote. This was parroted by our Minister of Finance at the time, Bill Morneau, our then Minister of Finance. He was a sacrificial lamb in the We Charity scandal, but it's okay. Justin apologized for that scandal. Now we have Chrystia Freeland as Minister of Finance. Woohoo! Anyways, back to the banks. You may remember in 2020, there was a 6-month mortgage deferral offered by the banks should you have been locked down and not able to earn an income. Now, at that time, the government, everybody seems to forget, the government gave $50 billion to the banks because, heaven forbid, the banks should have lost any money at the time on their interest payments on the mortgage payments that were deferred. I've got to look into all the numbers on this yet, but this is the overview introduction because I hope a lot of people won't fall into this trap. Anyways, anyone who had deferred their mortgage payments, the interest was added to the mortgage amount in gross. So the banks you might assume, got paid. The government gave them $50 billion, and should you have deferred your mortgage payment, the interest was added to it. Let us not forget, the big banks in Canada can all be found as corporate sponsors at the WEF. That's easily findable. A little more difficult to find, you'll find all of the corporate captains, the presidents, CEOs, etc. You'll find them in the WEF as well. So, here we come to what is happening currently. People won't, requalifying for a mortgage, a lot of people won't pass the stress test. Aren't, and won't pass the stress test, I should say. So the banks that the government's prompting, I've yet to look and see if, once again, the taxpayers' money are subsidizing the banks for this, but here's the hook. Because to requalify, you wouldn't pass a stress test, I should say a lot of people aren't and won't pass the stress test, the banks are offering increased amortization periods, often to the point where the homeowner who, to keep his home, renews with an increased amortization period, his monthly mortgage payments aren't even breaking even. They're not even covering the interest. So, said individual is making a mortgage payment, it's increased to what he can afford, but it's adding to his debt. Each month he's not even making the mortgage or the interest payments. Do you see the scam here? My point is, should you be in a position of needing to renew your mortgage anytime soon or over the next 2 years, you want to take a good look at this and make sure that you're not getting caught in this trap. Oh, the corruption runs so deep it's astounding. I'll see if I can find the time next week to dig into some numbers. And are we once again subsidizing the banks with this increased amortization period business? But again, as an individual, if you have a mortgage coming due to be renewed, there's a lot of perils waiting for you beyond just this increasing your debt with the amortization extension. I know I'm beleaguering the point, but there's a lot of other little traps hidden in here too. But I'll probably be next week before I get back to that. Again, I stress, if you have a mortgage, don't wait 6 months and walk into the bank when it's due for renewal without educating yourself and taking a good look at where you are. You're going to end up in a vicious trap that's just, well, I think I made my point.